Bus stops that way, my father chuckled, pointing at the cracked road that cut through our small town. A moment later, the ground shook. The wind tore through the trees. A Black Hawk helicopter descended onto the grass, blades ripping the silence apart. "That's my bus," I said, calm. My mother collapsed in shock. My father's smirk vanished. It wasn't always contempt between us. Once I believed in him. I thought he was unshakable, the man who could build a life from nothing. But admiration has a way of rotting when you see the truth. My father didn't build, he took. From me, from my mother, from anyone who trusted him long enough to stand close. And I was his easiest mark, his child, the one he thought he owned. When I told him I'd enlisted, he laughed then too. "You won't last a month," he said. "You don't have the guts." I swallowed the words, but I remembered them. The deeper I went into service, the clearer the betrayal became. Letters stopped coming. Calls from home weren't filled with love, but with demands. "Send money. We need help. If you really cared, you'd sign this loan." Every message dripped with manipulation. I realized my family wasn't proud of me. They weren't waiting for me to succeed. They were waiting for me to fail. The day I overheard my father tell a neighbor I'd never amount to more than a uniform, the knife twisted. He thought he knew my limits. He didn't know me at all. I didn't argue, didn't defend myself. Instead, I trained harder, learned faster, rose quicker. I built my silence into a weapon. Every insult, every dismissal, every laugh behind my back hardened into steel. And as I climbed, I kept my distance. I gave nothing away. Let them think I was still the child desperate for approval. Meanwhile, I built a life they couldn't touch, a career, a future, a reputation forged in discipline and fire. And I waited for the right moment to show them what silence had bought me. The reunion was perfect. My father had organized it, bragging about his successful family, even though he hadn't earned a damn piece of it. I arrived in plain clothes, quiet, forgettable. He didn't even stand when I walked in. The jokes started immediately. "Bet the army's just a daycare for kids who couldn't make it in the real world. Bet you're still fetching coffee for the ones who matter." I smiled. I let them laugh. I let them choke on the sound of their own arrogance. And then, when my father mocked me about the bus stop, I gave the signal. The blades thundered overhead. The Black Hawk roared down onto the lawn, grass bending under its fury. Dust blinded half the yard. Neighbors ran to their porches, shielding their faces, staring wide-eyed. My father stumbled back, his voice caught in his throat. My mother crumpled to the ground, unable to process what was unfolding. The hatch opened. My ride was here. I stood tall, wind tearing at my clothes, eyes locked on my father. "That's my bus," I said. For the first time, he had nothing to say. No laugh, no smugness, just silence, thick with fear and realization. He saw it then, the life I had built without him, the power he could never steal, the strength he had tried to convince me I didn't have. And worst of all, he saw that I didn't need him. Not his approval, not his money, not his name. I stepped toward the helicopter, boots crushing the grass, each step louder than his cowardice. At the hatch, I paused, turned back just once. My eyes met his. "You were right about one thing," I said. My voice cut through the roar. "I didn't last a month. I lasted longer. I outran you. I outgrew you. And I'm never coming back." I climbed aboard. The hatch sealed. The Black Hawk lifted, blades slicing the air. Below, my father shrank into the distance. A man who thought he held power, watching it slip through his fingers. My mother on the ground, gasping. My father frozen, broken, silent. For years, they told me I was weak, that I'd never escape, never rise above. But I didn't just escape, I ascended. And the sound of those blades, the sound of leaving them behind, was the sweetest revenge I've ever known.